Page 11, famous people. On page 10, they cover a contraption called an eighth note. Have you not had eighth notes before? I can't remember. I've done so many of these books now I can't remember who did what when. I'm going to pretend we haven't covered them, so I'll just explain them. They show what they look like, or two of them. You have whole notes, half notes, quarter notes. Everything divides in half. Quarter notes, then it would be eighth notes, and we could keep going. 16th notes, 32nd notes, 64th notes. You just keep dividing everything in half. If you're into computers, this is great because it's the binary thing. It works wonderful. Well, an eighth note looks like a quarter note, but it's got 1/8 note, just has a little flag hanging on to it. That's an eighth note. But a lot of times in music, they'll beam them together. That's that horizontal thing that connects the two notes. That's called a beam. Some people call it a bar. I'm liable to call it either one, who knows. But we'll call it a beam because you got measure bars, and that gets confusing as to what bar are you talking about. So we'll call them beams. And that connects them, and they beam them according to the beat in most cases. So in a 4/4 time, quarter note gets a count, 2/8 notes equal a quarter note, so they would beam the 2/8 notes together in one beat. That's all. This is just a handy way of looking at them and kind of grouping things rhythmically together, and you can see them that way. They have patterns at the bottom where you have a quarter note and 2/8 notes. Well, that's two beats. Remember, 2/8 notes get a beat. There's 2/8 notes in a quarter note, same difference. So, that, or the second one, they put the eighth notes first, doesn't matter. Or the third one, there's 4/8 notes together. They beam two beats together. And they can do that sometimes, and it's liable to be either way. That last one where the 4/8 notes are beamed together, that actually could be two groups of 2/8 notes beamed together, separately, too. They do that, too. Grouping could be most anything, don't worry about it. It's just a handy way of seeing the rhythm. Now, there's different ways of counting eighth notes. Different people teach different methods. I simply put an and in between the number, because the number represents the beat, the quarter note in this case. We're in 4/4 time. 1, 2, 3, those are quarter notes. Well, I need something in between to represent the eighth note, because there's 2/8 notes to a quarter note. And I just do an and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and each of those things is an eighth note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So eighth notes travel along pretty good, huh? And that's the way the counting goes. That's about all I have to say about that, I think, for now. As far as running notes and all that stuff, I have nothing to say about that. Different instructors use different methods. If you want to treat them like running notes, you go right ahead and run with it. To me, they're just eighth notes. Let's take a look on famous people. In the second line where you have eighth notes, we're counting at 1 and 2 and. Well, first you got to get the notes and the fingering. So we're on, thumb is on middle C, so you're down here in C position. So okay, good enough. And we're just playing C's here. So it's 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Get the idea? Last line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I went kind of fast. You don't have to go that fast. But it doesn't have to go fast because it's got eighth notes in it. That has nothing to do with the speed. Don't get the idea that it's got these notes, it's got to go a certain speed. No, totally disconnected. Don't associate the two together. I tend to go a little fast here because I've done this a million times, and also because I don't want the video to last an hour. It easily could. I just covered the right hand. Let's look at the left hand. You're starting out with thumb on, that's you what it is, I'm about to tell you, G. I put you in this position, which is C position here. You have quarter notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. You get down to the third line in the last second measure. Now you get eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Like so. Put the hands together. What could possibly go wrong? 1 and at the beginning. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and third line 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Get the idea, I hope. And you can do that and put in the articulation. They don't give you any except for the slurs. So just connect these, third line, just connect these notes. And lift up before you play. You don't connect the E and the C. Lift up the E just a little bit early. So there's a little silence, like taking a breath. And you go on. And again, at the end of the lift up a little bit early before you play the next notes. So a little early, lift up before and after these slurs. Dynamics, it's loud. That's it. And you can do both hands the same here. It's just loud. You'll have to decide what loud is. Now, don't get really loud. It's just loud. And loud changes from situation to situation or whatever. You know, so loud in a little room is different than loud outside. Use your inside loud for this, huh? That's really about all I have to say here. Speed-wise, they say with a strong beat. That's nothing to do with speed. But at the bottom, you'll see they give that little thing, play famous people with a metronome ticking at 112. So they're giving you an idea what they think you could play this. Now, that's only a suggestion, and it doesn't have to be exact. When you're first learning it, you go slow. However slow you got to go to get it, so there's no hesitations, no wrong notes, none. Then you can gradually speed it up. Not sure how fast 112 is. I'm too lazy to check. But it's somewhere in the middle. So it's somewhere about that. If you can do it that fast. If not, play it slower. It's okay. If you're going to sing it, how fast would you sing it? I ain't singing it, but you can sing it. You know what? Let's play it together slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. Make sure we got all that right. So I'll give us 4 counts. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. There's a duet part at the bottom here. I'd like to play that, and you play what you just played, but go ahead and speed it up now, a little closer to the, not at 112, but faster than we did. Now, a couple things on the duet. One is I need you to go up an octave again. So just pretend middle C went up an octave on the keyboard, and instead of here, you're going to play it here. Here. Also, the duet part at the bottom doesn't come in until the middle of your second measure. You see there, over there on your first line in the second measure, when you play the G's, that's when the duet starts. So I'm going to go ahead and play your part for the first measure and a half or so. I'll play along with you, and then when the duet part starts in, I'll do that instead. But it's totally different. You got a different rhythm than I do. Everything's different, so you got to pay attention to what you're doing, but you got to listen to me to stay with me. Good luck with all that. But I'll give 4 counts, and then let's start. So go ahead and put your hands up here. Now here we go. 1, 2, ready, go.